happiness is found in material things. Is that true, Prabhuji?
Ham sarvasya prabhavoho mattah sarvam pravartate. Everything, whatever you see, O Arjuna, be it a material or a spiritual. So actually everything is spiritual. If you are using it for Krishna in the service of the Supreme Lord, then it is spiritual. Nowadays, if parents ask me, Ki Prabhuji, I want to change my kids' thinking, I would suggest only three things. Please change the object for his seeing, for his eating, and for his listening. First, something comes to your mind as a thought. Thought becomes words. Words becomes action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes character. And character becomes destiny.
At Pragya, we welcome Harinam Das from ISKCON Temple, Bangalore. He's an enlightened person who just not spreads light, but spreads peace, love, joy, and happiness. The mission of ISKCON Temple rely upon such Prabhus who have actually devoted their life in the devotion of Lord Krishna, humanity, and the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you today for being with us. Thank you for being at Pragya. Today you're going to learn about how you can be happier, how you can be healthier, and how you can be joyful. Prabhu Haridas ji, please आप मुझे ये बताइए. To be spiritual, do we have to renunciate? We have to renounce everything we own? Do we have to be dressed in a color of saffron?
Absolutely no.
So are you saying it's a myth?
It's a myth.
Okay.
We have great examples whom we call great devotees or the epitome of spiritual life. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was a king. And we see him as a topmost spiritual leader.
Right.
Another example, Dhruv Maharaj, Arjun himself, who is listening Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna, and Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita that as you are my friend and devotee, that's why I am saying this transcendental knowledge to you. So there are n numbers of examples which proves that it's a myth. To be a spiritual person, it is not necessary that you renounce the world, you renounce the house, you renounce your job. While doing your job, while pursuing your activities, you have to become Krishna conscious, God conscious. That is spirituality. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Mam anushmara yuddhascha. Remember me and fight. For Arjuna, the duty was to fight. And for us, duty can be to take care of house, to take care of the business, etc. While doing our duty, we have to remember Krishna. That is the instruction. Arjuna also asked, Krishna, can I leave this battlefield and go to sannyas ashram? Krishna says, no. Be here and fight. Yuddhascha, yuddhascha, yuddhascha. Many times he has repeated. So we have to work while keeping our contact with Krishna.
So I think one of the doubts that is cleared for our viewers today is that you don't have to renunciate to be enlightened. You do not have to leave everything you have to go closer to God. My second question is happiness is found in material things. Is that true, Prabhuji?
Actually, there is nothing material. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Another verse Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, that is part of Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, and that is the first verse.
Right.
Aham sarvasya prabhavoho mattah sarvam pravartate. Everything, whatever you see, O Arjuna, be it a material or a spiritual, is emanating from me. So actually everything is spiritual.
Everything is on a universal plan. When we look at it, we are as tiny as the ant.
Yes.
And that ant is also a part of the being and the big plan of the universe, big plan of Krishna.
Yeah. So as you asked that, does material thing gives happiness? Things are being considered material when it is used for our own self. If you are using it for Krishna in the service of the Supreme Lord, then it is spiritual. Everything in this world or in the spiritual world is energy of Krishna. Just like we have electricity, same electricity can cool something, and that machine is known as refrigerator. Same electricity can be used for a heater, and it can give heat to you. So energy is one, but it is utilized in a different way. Money is energy of Lord Krishna. If it is used by a materialistic person for sense gratification, then it is material. Same money, if it is utilized for service of the Lord, it is spiritual. It is Devi Shakti.
Right.
So in the world, what is happening? People are thinking that everything belongs to me. Why we are here? Because we think that I want to enjoy independent of Krishna. No connection of Krishna. So when we think that I am independent from Krishna and then we want to enjoy, then everything becomes material. And these material things cannot give you happiness.
Right.
Material things, material success, material possessions can give you only comfort.
So then, Prabhuji, why and where has it become a belief system that we cannot survive without any material things, material way of thinking, or looking at materialistic pleasures in the future?
First thing we have to keep in mind that in the world we are living is a material world because it is disconnected from Krishna. Somehow or other, our leaders have set a standard that material things can give you happiness for their own pleasure.
So would it be okay if we say that somehow in the education system there is a make believe of the fact that joy, happiness, devotion, dedication, kindness is outside of us?
Yeah. So pleasure is mistaken as happiness. Whatever sensual things are available in this world, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we have five senses, and these five senses come in touch with their objects.
Right.
And there is some kind of sensation, like these eyes are the senses. And when they come in touch with the object, an object is very beautiful, there is a sensation. And then mind will say, it is very beautiful. See it again, again. So that kind of seeing again and again gives a pleasure, but that is not happiness.
Right. So, Prabhuji, would it be like the eye being the weakest muscle of the body creates a desire, and that desire, if not fulfilled, causes agitation? Would that be correct?
Yeah. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 62nd verse. Dhyayato vishayana pumsaha sangaste supajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate. Krishna is telling, when you contemplate on any sense object, as you said, this eye is very weak, always longing for beautiful objects. So when eyes are contemplating on some objects, there is a desire that I want to enjoy that object. And when you get it, it converts into greed. So whenever desire is fulfilled in this material world for sense gratification, that converts into greed. And when it is not satisfied, then it converts into anger.
Wow.
Frustration.
So either ways that...
Yes. Greed is also bad and anger is also bad.
So being mindful and realizing is the key.
Yes.
To
so
joy.
We have to situate it on a equanimity state.
Okay.
Be there at a happiness, so-called happiness, pleasure misunderstood as happiness in the material world, or the pain, what we uh, understand, the sensual pain. Both are temporary.
Prabhuji, I'd like to ask you the role of diet and food in such ways of thinking. Do they affect the way we think? Because we've just talked about two extremely important myths. But when it comes down to food, when it comes down to vegetarian, non-vegetarian, when it comes down to, offering a prayer before we eat for the Lord, for the person who has cooked the meal, the bhav, the intention, would that also impact the way we think?
Yes, 100%. Nowadays, if parents ask me, Ki Prabhuji, I want to change my kids' thinking, I would suggest only three things. Please change the object for his seeing, for his eating, and for his listening. His thinking will change. So these are the important inputs, three important inputs out of 5 inputs: eyes, tongue, and ear. These inputs going inside and making a thought process. Then same thing becomes a output. The way you will put input, same thing will become process, thinking, and then output. The food is very, very important ingredient of our life, day-to-day life. 3 times, 4 times, sometimes 5 times we have snacks and everything, including that. So if you eat food which is in the mode of ignorance, your thinking will be very ignorant.
I want to talk about this to my viewers. Are we really aware that when we are eating our food, we're looking at our phone, our tablets, discussing a meeting? Are you aware what it's really doing to your body, your mind, your spirit? These are very, very important factors that were listed in the Gita, being one of the oldest texts, and which has not failed with time. Talks about a value as simple and basic as this.
Yeah, very much true. So it is said that the distraction has increased a lot. Earlier, a man could focus for around 30-40 seconds, but now it has reduced to around 10 to 8 seconds. And it is said that golden fish have more attention than us.
Oh, my dear. So we are now in real competition with the fish.
So now, related to the same question. So if you eat a diet which is in the mode of ignorance, your thinking will be of ignorant person. If you eat food which is in the mode of passion, your thinking will be of passionate person. And if you eat food which is in the mode of goodness, then you will become goodness. Your thoughts will be in goodness. In Sanskrit, and technically these 3 words are sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So if you eat sattvic food, your thoughts will be sattvic. If you eat rajasic food, your thoughts will be rajasic. And if you eat tamasic food, your thoughts will be tamasic. Not only thoughts, just like it is said that first something comes to your mind as a thought. Thought becomes words. Words becomes action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes character. And character becomes destiny. So all start with thoughts.
Wow.
So it's very important to take care what you put inside through your mouth. So Krishna says you should always eat food which is in the mode of goodness, sattvic food, and that also offered to him after offering to him as a prasadam.
Right. So as a gratitude to the divine as prasadam, and then you consume it in a manner which is more within, completely free of distractions, in appreciation, in gratitude. There's lots of people on this earth today that don't have food. For the ones that we have food on our plates and in front of us, we must remember to consume it with grace, with joy, with happiness. because that is who we are. We are what we eat and digest. Now, I understand that it's really difficult for everyone to understand that why non-veg is wrong when the whole world is eating non-veg. There are a lot of people in this world that are vegetarians too. So it's not about non-veg and vegetarian in this podcast today, but it is about you knowing that you are what you eat. So if you
Yes.
eat an animal, you're going to behave like one. So don't think that it's not going to affect you. Of course, it's going to affect you. Whether you accept it, whether you realize it, that's a different story.
So food impacts your bodily health, your mental health, and your intellectual health.
Prabhuji, I'm just amazed that an animal consumes 36 times more water than a vegetable. Where is the whole game of sustainability gone out of this equation? Today, every supermarket, you've got packeted food, you've got fast food, which is non-veg, and then you hear this whole lecture on TV about sustainability and zero carbon. I think such an important ingredient has gone really missing from the fact that water consumption, which is going to be the biggest issue in the world, is not looked at by meat consumers, meat producers, and meat sellers.
So I would like to add to your point that there are many people who are starving for food. Recently, somebody was saying कि in one function I was having one jalebi, and that also half I took, and another whatever plate was there, full of plate, with that half jalebi and the full of jalebi plate, that waiter come and thrown into a dustbin. So he was thinking, once I was passing through one place and there is a child who is craving for jalebi. And the same jalebi which was thrown to the dustbin, somehow that reaches to the child. And the person asked him, okay, how do you feel now? He says, this was my dream food I could have.
Right.
And what we did is, it is a little more sweet. Let's give it up.
So be aware of what you serve yourself, and be aware of your wastage of food. Be aware of what you're wasting could have been someone's dream.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I'd like to ask you, in today's world with this noise and distraction, is there room for peace?
100%, a very genuine question, because everybody is looking for peace. And I hope that Pragya is also to spread the peace in the world. Yes, in this world, we have lots of noise, distractions, many unavoidable things. Like currently war is going on.
Yes, of course.
So it's affecting the whole world. Even after all these things, there is a possibility of peace.
And how do we reach that peace, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ashantasya kuta sukham. If you're not peaceful, there is no happiness. Both are interrelated. And how we can become peaceful? For that, Krishna is telling, we have to control our mind. In everything, what we see, what we eat, this mind is always connected. What expectations we have, this mind is connected. So we have to control our mind. Currently, what is happening? Mind is controlling us. So it is said that if you are not controlling the mind, mind will control you. So currently, we are slave of our own mind.
So Prabhuji, what are the distractions when you say noise distractions, besides, I would say, the electrical gadgets such as TV, phones?
No, these are very small, silly distractions.
Right. So
there is a big distraction in the mind. There is a big noise in the mind. Even if you are in a very noisy atmosphere outside, but you can be peaceful. Krishna is telling Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. Indriyanya pranahu, indirebhyo paramamana, parasastu mana buddhir, yo buddhis pratastu saha. That higher than the senses, there is a mind. Higher than the mind, there is intelligence. Then higher than the intelligence is the soul. We are higher than everything, that we are soul. So yes, there are lots of noise going inside our mind. And this noise is the effect of outside noise. Somehow or other outside in the world for sense gratification, because that everybody is so selfish for their sense gratification, they want us to get distracted. We are having this internal noise. So somehow we have to have control on our getting affected by outside noise. When you see a when you see a billboard outside, you have to be careful that you want to take this inside or not. Most of the time, it is happening. Whatever is going on, we are just consuming it. Be careful what you consume through your eyes, through your ears, through your tongue, with every senses. Be careful. Have a filter while consuming.
Amazing. So I think in totality, yes, it is a noisy world, and we have to use our mindfulness. We can't, we need the phone to communicate. We need our tablets for research, typing, fun. We're used to now the TV. So it's great we have all these things, but be mindful. Use your filter. How much, when, and what you're watching. Because all three factors would make a difference. What you see, what you hear, and what you think. Today at Pragya, we want to bring you that you're the one in control of your life. And how to control is being mindful.
Again, it is all of mind game. We have to become mindful, as you said, and even in the biggest noise outside, we can become peaceful and happy by controlling this uncontrollable mind by the techniques of spirituality, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This easy mantra can make us peaceful in this very, very noisy world.
Right. Amazing. So you have your solution right there itself. Prabhuji, my next question to you is wealth a road to peace if chosen correctly, if utilized correctly? As there are many wealthy people who have come towards spirituality and have realized that joy and happiness was not in material things. What would be your comment on that?
Yes, we think that this prosperity will lead us to peace and happiness. But actually, in this world, Krishna, after creating this world, he has named it as, just like we build a house and we give a nameplate. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, he has named this world as Dukhalayam. It is difficult to find happiness. This world is for distress. This money, this wealth, and as you mentioned, few examples of the richest persons. We can take few examples like Mark Zuckerberg or the Apple founder Steve Jobs or the Beatles pop singer George Harrison. They were filthy rich, but somehow or other they could not find the peace in their richness.
Right.
Something they were lacking. Recently we saw that Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma visited Vrindavan Dham and met Swamiji there. They have all the money, all the facilities, all the comfort, but something is lacking.
Right.
Same way we heard top 3 richest person of the world. I will not name one of them. There was a big news in the Times of India that they take anxiety pill. They have all the money available, but still they are taking anxiety pill. Why? Because something is lacking. Actually, that something is one concept. And that concept is, we think that I am this body. The concept is, I am this body. We are in bodily concept of life. We have to just change this small little thing, that we are not this body, we are soul. We have to live in soul concept of life, not bodily concept of life. And once we understand this small thing, all problems are solved.
When I look around, we take children on holiday. We take them to Greece, we take them to Paris, we take them to New York. But we forget to take them to peaceful places. We forget to take them places of spirituality. We have forgotten that connecting to our culture is critical. It's important. We're one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Today, when a child is growing up, and all we do is actually just talking about material things to them, just talking about school, grades, going out, going on holidays, new cars, new dresses, new watches, new phones. Haven't we installed these sanskaras which are actually not benefiting the soul?
What you have asked is a fundamental question. Because in this material world, it is very easy to forget the sanskaras. We have to remember that again we are in this material world. Material world means disconnected from Krishna, disconnected from samskaras. And then day by day, things will deteriorate. Our parents, our grandparents, they were more aware of these sanskaras. They were following more ritualistic ceremonies and traditional festivals. But we are going away from them. This is also a big game, a big scam going on. Some other big minds are working to somehow other convince us that you can be happy by watching a movie, by watching a TV series on Netflix. You know, sometimes it is said that Netflix has a competition with our biological cycle.
Yes, I've been hearing a lot about it.
That they want us to see 24 hours.
Right.
One episode after another episode. But this bodily cycle is such that we get this. We have to sleep. So there are big minds working to distract us, and they are paid very high for distracting us. We have to become very intelligent and understand what is good for us.
So in a day which has got just 24 hours, I think 24 hours is just perfect. We're up and about for about 12 hours. Out of that, we work, we enjoy, we interact with our family, we be spiritual, and it's really such a shame that we leave and lose that critical time where we can be spiritual, we can take the name of the Lord, we can connect to our families, be peaceful. We're not mentally agitated and depressed. And we choose to sit in front of the box and spend hours watching series and serials. प्रभु जी, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ योगा के बारे में. Is it good for us, good for children, or not?
It is good for everyone. Yoga is meant for all kind of generations.
What would you call yoga? Is it an exercise?
No, yoga is meant as a connection.
Connection with who?
Connection with Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Yoga means to connect.
To connect.
From yuj dhatu this word has come, and
Okay.
yuj means to connect.
To connect.
So just like now we are getting connected through this talk. Same way we have to get connected through some kind of activities. That is known as yoga. If you are connected with karma, that is karma yoga. If you are connected with jnana, that is jnana yoga. If you are connected with ashtanga, then it is ashtanga yoga. If you are connected with bhakti, then it is bhakti yoga.
So we all have to be a combination in all four. And that's what this life is all about. to connect to all four parts of yoga. Yoga is not just exercise, it is all these ways of life, and that is what yoga means. Prabhuji, I'm going to ask you, children, what do you recommend for them? They go to school, they have this busy life, and they have to do homework, and they have to literally do the grades, and then they have these distractions, and their intellect has still not really developed.
Yeah,
So
then they
what
have
is your
peer
advice?
pressure. Peer pressure they have.
Yes, of course.
Uh,
So what's your advice in 2 lines?
In 2 lines, okay, my advice is that it's parents' duty to guide them properly,
Okay.
and they have to be very strict in the beginning. They have to set goals for them, and they have to work for that. In between, while they are executing their duties, the parents, they have to give them some spiritual principles. Just like you can see this mala, it
Right.
is, there are beads, they are strung on a thread. There is a thread. So this thread is known as fundamental principles. If these fundamental principles are there, then this can be we can see a good neck bead. Same way, if life is based on some fundamental principles, then it can become a very beautiful life. So we have to give children, the kids, fundamental principles.
So would fundamental principles be waking up in the morning?
Yeah, to go with
Okay.
the nature.
So to go with nature, waking up in the morning. What about, Prabhuji? We are what we eat.
Yeah.
Are children impacted by that too?
Yes, 100%. And most important thing in the parenting is you have to act in front of your children, your kids, very cautiously, because they copy whatever you do.
So we are just born like that. This is our innate nature. We can't go away from it. So be aware what how you're coming across in front of your children, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the future of the world. Generations to come are going to be apart from what their learning has been. So how you wake up, how you sleep, how you eat, what you eat, what you watch, what you think, and how you speak are extremely critical. And this is going to be the lesson for the generations to come. So let's do it ourselves right first.
Children imitates. So you just have to do some things which they can imitate, good things. Like if you're eating food, offer to Lord and just pray before eating. So they will also just imitate. They will copy.
I've heard about so many religions. In so many religions, there's this gratitude prayer.
Yeah.
So it is amazing that
So this one fundamental principle is attitude of gratitude.
attitude of gratitude.
Live with nature.
Live with nature. I think we all have heard it in different spheres of our lives. Live with nature. But I think coming from Prabhuji with so much wisdom and so much knowledge, it really makes a difference. Live with nature, live with the attitude of gratitude. Amazing. Prabhuji, what about, um, in conclusion, that if we are what we eat, we have to filter the information we get from outside. We have to lead our children by example.
Very much.
And we are not the body, we are the soul.
Yeah.
So attachments and detachments are a part of our intellect. So use it wisely. Prabhuji, I'm going to ask you a little bit about the ISKCON mission. Prabhuji, please tell me, where did Srila Prabhupada ji started ISKCON?
He started with India, but here he couldn't get succeed. So he went to USA, and in 1966 he established ISKCON in New York.
In New York. There are a lot of foreigners that actually, a lot of international people that follow ISKCON. I don't think it's an Indian thing only. Am I right?
Yeah, now it's international, and when it was established, that time only Srila Prabhupada named it as International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Amazing. And please tell me if this information is correct. Prabhupada ji went in this when he was 70.
Yes, it is a
when-
correct information, 100% correct. When he was at around 69, he went to America by a cargo ship. And when he was 70, he established ISKCON in New York.
Amazing. Prabhupada ji started ISKCON keeping in mind anxiety, depression, mental health, health issues may become a problem in society. And as a visionary of that, he started the principles of ISKCON and the Bhagavad Gita to be implemented in our daily lives.
Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada says, we want to give society a life of happiness, peace, and prosperity through God consciousness. So, it is said that material problems and spiritual solutions. So, we are spirit, and if we feed our spirit, the soul, all solutions are there.
Prabhuji, tell me, when you look at children abroad, if there were just 3 tips, children in America, Indian children in Dubai, Indian children throughout the world, they're passive, very disconnected, and you can't blame them because they have adapted, they've been born in those countries, they actually see the environment around them, and therefore their values have shifted and changed. The values, the 3 values that you want that will connect them to their roots and connect them to their country and connect them to the Bhagavad Gita, what would they be?
The first thing I would suggest is they should obey their parents. No matter what, they have to share what is going on in their life. So they have to obey their parents. Second is to search about the truth, that who am I, where from I have come, what is my role in this material world, what is the purpose of my life. They have to ask these fundamental questions. Then they will easily get attracted towards our culture, our basics, and Bhagavad Gita. And third thing is try to walk the talk. What you talk, try to lead the life according to the same what you talk.
Amazing. So, the principles that you have learned about finding yourself. So, children around the world, or parents who are watching this around the world, please ask your children to do their own research on who they are, why they're born, what is the purpose of them being here, and to walk it, to talk it, actually after researching it, so they live that moment of truth. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Somya for inviting me. It's my pleasure. Hare
Thank
Krishna. Somya I am very happy that you have started this Pragya. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Pragya, Sthit Pragya. And Pragya is, the literal meaning of Pragya is intelligence. So we have to fix our intelligence. Sthit Pragya, fixed intelligence. And fixed intelligence will lead to a fixed mind. And fixed mind will lead to a fixed senses. And fixed senses will lead to a fixed seeing, fixed eating, fixed listening. So anyway, you will be fixed in your life and will be succeed in your life and you will be always happy.
And I think when you're going to be fixed in your life, you will have no time for depression. You will have no time for mental illness. You will have no time for illnesses too.
Yes.
Because you actually have walked the path.
So I would say the whole world is searching for this pragya. Why? Because they are lacking this pragya. This intelligence is lacking. We say we are very intelligent, but actually not. Why? Because we are not able to discriminate the power, the pragya. What pragya does is, the pragya gives the power to discriminate what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. So that is lacking. Even though we are technically very sound and we are intelligent, but we are not able to discriminate what should I eat and what I should not. And this filter is very important, and this filter is intelligence. That is pragya in your language. Hope you will understand.
So Pragya, we tell you, we bring you all sorts of knowledge, from wisdom to science, about yourself and who you are. Because we have gone shopping, we have gone working, we know everything about what's happening in the world, but little do we know what's really happening in our body, in our mind, and our spirit, our breath. We're not aware of who we are and how does the function of the body happens, how's the function of the soul happens. So therefore, Pragya brings you light.
So may Lord Krishna bless this Pragya so that it can give Pragya to all the people of the world.